The unexpected audition. Alex Grant stared out the window of his small Chicago apartment, the snowflakes swirling like tiny dancers in the winter breeze. At 24, Alex felt trapped between his mundane job at a print shop and a passion for performance that had been buried since high school theater. "Alex, come see this," his roommate and childhood friend, Sophie, called from the kitchen, waving an open laptop. "What's up?" Alex asked, wiping ink-stained fingers on his jeans. Sophie turned the screen toward him. "They're casting for a lead role in a Netflix miniseries. They want fresh faces, preferably someone with stage experience. And guess what? Filming's happening right here in Chicago." Alex's heart thudded. "That's insane. I haven't acted in years. Exactly why you should do this. You've been miserable at the shop. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?" Sophie urged, her green eyes sparkling with excitement. That night, after hours of indecision, Alex filled out the online audition form. He uploaded an old acting reel. Sophie insisted on digging out of storage and hit submit. A twist of fate. 2 weeks passed without a word. Then, just as Alex was closing up shop on a dreary Thursday, his phone buzzed. "Envelope with arrow. Congratulations, Alex. We'd like to invite you to a private audition for the role of Drew in Urban Hearts. Details attached." Alex froze. "Oh my God. Sophie." By Saturday morning, Alex stood nervously outside a sleek glass building downtown. Inside, the casting director, a sharp-eyed woman named Veronica Steele, greeted him warmly. "Alex, thank you for coming. We saw your reel. Very promising. But before we proceed, there's been a change. The role of Drew has been cast. However, another opportunity came up." Alex's heart sank, then cautiously lifted. "Oh." Veronica leaned forward, her voice lowering. "We need someone to play Brooklyn, a young woman discovering herself in the city's underground music scene. Originally, we planned to cast a transgender actress. But after your reel and a certain vulnerability you brought to the screen, I want to see if you can embody Brooklyn. It's unconventional, but I have a hunch." Alex blinked. "You want me to audition for a transgender woman's role?" Veronica smiled gently. "Brooklyn's story is about identity, truth, and finding where you belong. It's powerful. And from what I saw, you might just bring her to life in a way no one else could." The inner conflict. Back home, Alex paced the apartment, reliving the surreal meeting. Sophie, curled up on the couch, listened intently. "So, what are you thinking?" she asked. I don't know. What if people don't get it? What if they think it means something about me?" Alex admitted, voice cracking. "Alex, acting is about stepping into someone else's shoes. And you could step into Brooklyn's boots and show the world something beautiful." Sophie's words stayed with Alex all night. By dawn, he had made his decision. The first step. Alex called Veronica. "I'll do it. I want to audition for Brooklyn." The relief in Veronica's voice was palpable. "Wonderful. We'll start with character workshops this week. Be ready, Brooklyn is going to change your life." Little did Alex know just how true those words would be. Stepping into Brooklyn's world. The following Monday, Alex stood in the airy rehearsal loft downtown, heart pounding as he surveyed the room. Large mirrors lined the walls, racks of costumes, props, and binders cluttered the space. A soft-spoken acting coach, Jada Price, welcomed him with a kind smile. "Welcome, Alex, or should I say Brooklyn," Jada said, handing him a worn denim jacket. "From today, you live and breathe this character. Ready?" Alex swallowed hard. "I think so." The first exercises were easy enough, learning Brooklyn's backstory, walking with her casual confidence, practicing speech patterns. But as the hours went on, the process became unexpectedly emotional. "You can't just play Brooklyn," Jada coached gently. "You need to feel her. Where does her courage come from? Where does her loneliness hide?" Each day Alex left rehearsal drained yet exhilarated. The co-star with secrets. On the third day, a new figure entered the loft, Eli Torres, the actor cast as Brooklyn's love interest. Eli was tall, with tousled dark hair and an intensity that made Alex feel immediately self-conscious. Eli grinned and extended a hand. "So, you're Brooklyn." Alex hesitated, then shook his hand. Alex, but yeah, I guess I am. From their first scene together, the chemistry was undeniable. But after rehearsal, when they grabbed coffee at a corner cafe, Eli dropped a surprising comment. You're not just acting, are you? There's something real about how you connect to her. Like you're figuring out your own stuff along the way. Alex blinked, caught off guard. I'm just trying to do the role justice. Eli smiled knowingly, but didn't push. A growing storm inside. Days turned into weeks. The more Alex lived as Brooklyn, practicing makeup, exploring fashion, moving through the city in character, the more blurred the lines became. He caught his reflection in a shop window one evening. The tousled hair, the soft denim, the layered necklaces Sophie lent him, the ease of his posture. Is this still just Brooklyn, or is this me? Sophie noticed the changes too. Alex, you seem happier lately. Like, freer. Do you think this is more than the role? Alex didn't have an answer. All he knew was that the moments he spent as Brooklyn felt more natural than anything else in his life. An unexpected invitation. One night after a late rehearsal, Eli texted, "There's an underground club I want to show you. No judgments, just music, freedom. Come as Brooklyn. Trust me." Heart racing, Alex hesitated, then replied, "I'm in." That night would mark a turning point. The night that changed everything. The club Eli brought Alex to was hidden beneath an old art gallery. A narrow staircase led to a cavern of neon light and bass-thumping music. The place pulsed with energy. People of every identity, style, and story danced, talked, and laughed. No masks, no judgment. Eli leaned close so Alex could hear him over the beat. "Welcome to the nest. Here, you don't have to pretend to be anyone. You just are." Alex, dressed as Brooklyn, felt oddly at ease among the crowd. The oversized denim jacket, black leggings, and layered jewelry didn't feel like a costume anymore. It felt like home. The mysterious performer. As the music shifted to a slower, haunting melody, the crowd parted for a performer stepping onto a small, elevated stage. She was magnetic, tall, with silver hair that glowed under the lights and eyes lined in bold makeup. Her voice filled the room like a spell, drawing everyone in. "That's Nova," Eli whispered. "She owns this place. Some say she's a legend on the underground scene, others say she's been everywhere and seen everything." Nova's gaze swept the crowd, then, startlingly, landed on Alex. And held. When her song ended, Nova stepped off stage and made her way directly to them. "You're new here," Nova said, her voice like velvet, eyes sharp and kind all at once. "I'm Alex," he blurted, then corrected himself. Brooklyn tonight." Nova tilted her head, studying him. "Brooklyn suits you. I can see the real you trying to breathe." Alex felt his heart race. "I'm just here for the role I'm playing." Nova's smile was knowing. "Sure. The thing is, some of us don't find ourselves until we play the part we were meant for all along." A private conversation. Later, as the club thinned out, Nova found Alex again. "You want to know how I became Nova?" she asked, motioning for him to sit with her in a quiet booth. Alex nodded, captivated. "I was like you once. Caught between what I thought people expected and what my heart screamed. But the longer I wore my mask, the more I realized it wasn't a mask at all. It was me. I was just too scared to admit it." Nova took his hand gently. "Brooklyn. Alex, whatever name you choose, just promise yourself one thing: don't run from who you are." The choice. Walking home in the early hours, city lights reflecting in puddles, Alex felt like he was walking between two worlds. He thought of the print shop, the dull hum of machines, the weight of routine. Then he thought of the nest, the music, the freedom, Nova's words. Sophie was waiting up. "How is it?" she asked softly. Alex sank onto the couch, staring at his hands, still adorned with silver rings. I think I saw a glimpse of who I'm meant to be." Sophie smiled, pulling him into a hug. "Then don't let it go." A role beyond the script. In the days that followed that unforgettable night at the nest, Alex found it harder and harder to separate Brooklyn from himself. The confidence he felt in her skin, the ease with which he moved through the world as her, it all felt too right to be just acting. At rehearsals, Jada beamed at his transformation. Alex, I don't know what's shifted, but your Brooklyn is electric. You're not playing her, you're her. Alex smiled, but inside, his thoughts were tangled. Eli gets closer. Eli's presence became a constant. Between scenes, after late-night rehearsals, even casual coffee runs, he was there. And the way he looked at Alex, not just at Brooklyn, but at the person beneath. One evening, they stayed late to run lines. When they finished, the studio empty around them. Eli hesitated. Can I ask you something personal? Alex's heart jumped. Sure. Are you happy? Like, really happy, when you're Brooklyn. Alex opened his mouth to reply, but no words came. Instead, he nodded slowly, the truth impossible to deny. Eli's gaze softened. I thought so. Before Alex could respond, Eli added, I like you. However you identify, whatever name you want to use. I like you. The offer and the threat. The next day, Alex was called into a meeting with Veronica. He expected it to be about filming schedules, but instead, she closed the door and gave him a serious look. We're ahead of schedule, and the producers want to expand Brooklyn's storyline. A lot. If you're willing, we'll center this series around Brooklyn's journey, including more media attention. Are you comfortable with that? Alex's pulse raced. More screen time, more exposure, and more of Brooklyn becoming public. I need to think about it, Alex said honestly. Veronica nodded. Of course. But I believe you were born for this. But that night, the weight of it all came crashing down. An anonymous email hit Alex's inbox. We know who you really are. You think you can hide behind this Brooklyn mask? Wait till the tabloids get wind of this. You'll be a joke. Alex's hands trembled. Who sent this? Someone on set? Someone at the nest? A crossroads. Sophie found him staring at the screen, pale and shaken. Alex, what's wrong? He showed her the email. Sophie's eyes blazed. This is garbage. Whoever sent that is scared of how powerful you're becoming. Don't let them win. But what if they're right? What if I am just pretending? Sophie grabbed his hand. Alex, you're not pretending. The real you is finally shining through, and it scares small-minded people. So what? You have us. You have Eli. And you have Brooklyn. Don't let fear decide your future. Alex stared at his reflection in the dark window. Was it Alex looking back, or Brooklyn? Or both? No more hiding. That night, after Sophie's pep talk, Alex didn't sleep. He stared at his ceiling, replaying Nova's words at the nest, Eli's confession, and now the hateful email. At sunrise, as light filtered through the blinds, Alex made a choice. No more fear. No more hiding. The message to Veronica. Later that morning, Alex called Veronica. His voice shook at first, but grew steadier with each word. I want to say yes. I want Brooklyn's story to be at the center. If we're doing this, we're doing it all the way. Veronica exhaled in relief. I'm proud of you. And I promise, I'll protect you from whatever backlash comes. We'll frame Brooklyn's story with respect, truth, and heart. Turning the thread around. Before heading to rehearsal, Alex sat at his laptop, staring at that anonymous email again. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then, with a deep breath, he crafted a post for his social media, one he'd never imagined writing. Loudspeaker, playing Brooklyn is the honor of my life. I didn't expect this role to help me understand myself on such a deep level. I'm grateful for this journey and excited to keep sharing it with all of you. Sparkling heart, #Brooklyn Journey, #be yourself, #no more masks. He hit post and felt a wave of anxiety, followed by relief. Eli's reaction. At rehearsal that afternoon, Eli approached him, holding up his phone. I saw your post. That took guts. Alex shrugged, nervous. I figured if someone was going to out me or twist my story, I'd rather tell it myself. Eli's eyes softened. You're incredible. You inspire me. Before Alex could reply, Eli squeezed his hand quick but meaningful and moved to his mark on set. The world responds. Within hours, Alex's post exploded online. Sparkle's fans flooded him with support, Messages from strangers who felt seen, from trans and non-binary actors who thanked him for speaking out, from allies cheering him on. But there were haters too. Comments that tried to cut him down. Alex expected those, but they didn't sting as much as he thought they would. Because now his truth was out. A new challenge. But just as Alex started to settle into his newfound courage, the next twist came. That evening, as Alex and Sophie celebrated with takeout and laughter, his phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. A clipped, anxious voice replied. Alex? This is Mara, Brooklyn's original creator, the writer who based her on a real person. I need to speak with you. Urgently. Someone's trying to hijack Brooklyn's story. And it's bigger than you think. Alex froze. What do you mean hijack her story? Mara's voice dropped to a whisper. Meet me tomorrow. I can't say more on the phone. Just be careful who you trust. The secret behind Brooklyn. The next morning, Alex sat at a corner booth in a quiet cafe, watching the door. His nerves were frayed. Every time it swung open, his heart jumped. Finally, Mara arrived, a sharp-eyed woman in her late 30s, with a leather satchel slung over one shoulder. She slid into the seat across from him, glancing around as if checking for eavesdroppers. Thank you for meeting me, she said, voice low. Alex leaned in. What's going on? What did you mean someone's hijacking Brooklyn's story? Mara sighed, pulling out a worn notebook. Brooklyn was inspired by a real person, someone I knew years ago in Chicago's underground music scene. A trans woman who risked everything to live her truth. Her story was supposed to be told with respect. But someone on this production team is trying to twist it for drama. Make her a stereotype. A joke. That's not what I wrote. Alex's blood ran cold. Who? Who would do that? Mara hesitated. I don't have proof yet. But you need to watch your back. Not everyone around you is on your side. Doubt creeps in. Walking home, Alex's mind raced. Could this be true? Could someone he'd grown to trust, Veronica? Eli? Someone else? Be sabotaging the integrity of the story? Sophie noticed his troubled expression when he walked in. Bad meeting. Alex nodded. There's more to this than I realized. And now I don't know who to trust. Sophie frowned. Then we find out the truth. Together. The first clue. Determined, Alex started paying closer attention at rehearsals. And soon, he noticed something that chilled him. The revised scripts, handed out quietly, often at the last minute, painted Brooklyn as over-the-top, almost cartoonish. Gone was the layered, vulnerable woman he'd been working so hard to embody. And who always seemed to have the latest version before anyone else. Backhand index pointing at Eli. Alex's heart sank. Could the person who made him feel so seen be part of this betrayal? A confrontation. That night, Alex asked Eli to meet at the Nest. The music throbbed around them, but the air between them was tense. I have to ask, Alex said, struggling to keep his voice steady. Are you working with someone to change Brooklyn's story? To mock it. Eli's face twisted in shock. What? No. Why would you think that? Alex hesitated, then told him about Mara, the script changes, the growing inconsistencies. Eli stared at him for a long beat. Then, quietly, there's something I haven't told you. And maybe it's time I did. The bombshell. Eli drew in a deep breath. I didn't come to this project by accident. The producers, they hired me because of who I am. My brother? He's one of the executive producers. He wanted me to keep an eye on the Brooklyn situation. Make sure the show would sell, even if that meant sensationalizing it. Alex felt the floor drop out from under him. You knew. This whole time. I didn't agree with it. Eli said quickly, his voice desperate. And I've been trying to protect you. That's why I got the script changes first, so I could warn you. That's why I invited you to the Nest, why I encouraged you. I never wanted to hurt you. Alex's world reeled. Could he believe him? A new resolve. Later that night, back in his apartment, Alex stared at the mirror. Who am I doing this for? He whispered to his reflection. And then, the answer came, clear and steady. For Brooklyn. For the real Brooklyn. For myself. Alex grabbed his phone and called Mara. Let's fight for this. Let's make sure Brooklyn's story stays true. Exposing the lie. The next morning, Alex and Mara met again, this time in a sunlit corner of a library, their heads bent over Mara's notebook and Alex's marked-up scripts. "We need evidence," Mara said firmly. "If we can prove what they're doing, how they're distorting Brooklyn's story, the network can't ignore it. And neither can the world." Alex nodded. "I'm in. All the way." Together, they pieced together a plan. White heavy checkmark compare the original scripts to the altered ones. White heavy checkmark document the changes, the harmful tropes, the mockery slipped in between lines. White heavy checkmark gather statements from crew members who'd seen it happen. An ally in an unexpected place. What Alex didn't expect. Veronica. When they showed her the evidence, she looked horrified. "I swear I didn't approve these rewrites. The executive team slipped them past me. I promise you I'll back you, but you have to be smart. This could get ugly." Alex stared at her, heart pounding. "We're ready for ugly. We're ready for truth." Veronica smiled, fierce and proud. "Then let's make sure they can't ignore us."